Hello, everyone. I'm Jacob Wilkins, and welcome to this edition of Bearcat Chats. And as we ramp up for the fall semester, great to be joined by two of the high-profile members of the Binghamton student community. They're with the Student Association. Khaleel James is the president. Maggie Koekkoek is the executive vice president. Khaleel, Maggie, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and Khaleel, let's start with you. Incoming students, they may not know what the Student Association does. What can you tell them?
All right. So for the Student Association, for those that's incoming and those who may not even be aware, we basically are the student government on campus, and so we kind of oversee over 250 student organizations, and we provide certain resources to students. OTCT, we provide buses, we provide Harvest Ferries as well, and we kind of just help student orgs operate. If you're seeking charter statuses, or if you're having problems internally, or just want to grow your organization, we kind of help you do that. And Maggie is more so operations based than I am, so I'll let her fill in some of those too.
Yeah, definitely. So like the biggest part of my job probably is all of our clubs on campus. So we do have over 250 clubs that the Student Association oversees, which is going to be a really great way for freshmen to get involved and kind of find their community and find their people. So our clubs are definitely going to be operating this fall, which is really exciting news. Obviously not completely how it's looked in the past, but our clubs are going to be allowed to have smaller in-person events. Obviously, social distanced, masked up and everything, but freshmen are definitely going to be able to join clubs, meet club members, meet upperclassmen, talk about what the club might usually look like, participate in, smaller social events, and still be able to kind of gain that sense of community depending on what they're interested in, which is really exciting. News for us that's going to be able to happen.
Yeah, and clubs are such an important part of the college experience. Maggie, what are they going to look like come the fall?
So as of right now, clubs are allowed to have, we're kind of pushing for a hybrid version. So we do want clubs to have some virtual programming, especially since there might be some students that are at home or taking their classes online. So all clubs are going to have virtual elements to them so that it's accessible to all students, but clubs are definitely going to be allowed to reserve rooms for smaller events, which is really exciting. We have so many different kinds of clubs that it would be kind of hard to explain, like exactly what each club is going to be doing. But, we have performance-based clubs that I know might have, like smaller rehearsals or virtual versions of shows or live stream shows or things like that. I know that we have like some volunteer orgs that are still going to be able to continue to go and volunteer in the greater Binghamton community together. Some of our special interest groups are definitely going to be able to still have meetings where they talk about the things that they're passionate about or, play games or things like that. Khaleel, I don't know if you know more about like the multicultural orgs or maybe some plans that they have.
Yeah, and so for right now during the summer, the Multicultural Resource Center is actually providing programming for, with orientation and cultural orgs that they can just hold summer panels that students could look out for. So they're eventually MRC at binghamton.edu, as well as Binghamton. We have an intercultural welcome committee, and they're planning virtual multicultural extravaganza, which is really I held it last year. It's really just an opportunity for the multicultural orgs on campus and for the students that I identify under that spectrum can come together and kind of know the spaces that they can navigate while on campus and the spaces that they maybe feel more comfortable on and just get in that environment. So it's something that we still want to push in the Student Association. Due to COVID, it's going to be virtual this year, but it's still a space for students to get involved, have the resource, and then be able to connect with students that look like them and operate like them and all that.
That's really cool. By the way, Khaleel, you're sticking with that background, huh?
Yeah, I like it. It's kind of smooth.
There's a lot going on there. There's a lot going on. Tell me, Khaleel, you're obviously in constant communication with the administration. This is a team effort. One doesn't work without the other. The students, at the end of the day, have to be the ones to implement all these new restrictions and policies on campus. What have the discussions and communication been like with President Stenger and the administration?
Yeah, I think for this year we have a very unique setup with administration. I think we've communicated more this summer than we probably have in the previous years. I've met with Harvey probably like 30 times in this whole summer, and it's unique because we get to present more than just what's normally um, talked about. Like we're talking about COVID, we're talking about social justice, we're talking about a lot. And so we're able to, on the essay side, get to bring those concerns directly to him. And, sometimes I need to bring Maggie with me to kind of, you know, bring the conversation to different levels and make sure that it's being executed well. Because I don't want to just be the person that thinks this is what's best for campus, right? And so when we reach out to students and we reach out to student orgs and we reach out to alumni and we bring those concerns, we're getting a lot more um, interaction with Harvey because he's more like, okay, we need to help, right? And so I think that's one of the things that we've been doing, and they've been more open to us communicating, just meeting with us, hearing us out, which is dope.
Yeah, we've just definitely needed to be so kind of in sync with administration, even more so than in past years, while we kind of write our regulations. This summer has been figuring out what are we even going to be allowed to do and making sure that the student association regulations that, I am doling out to all of the clubs and all of the student run organizations are, in sync with what the university is going to do, because at the end of the day, it's all the same students, it's all the same campus, like the way that people are allowed to interact and those rules need to all be kind of as one. So there's definitely been so much more collaboration this summer and really working together to make sure that we have a cohesive plan going forward. But so far it's been really great. And it seems like we've kind of come to a place of knowing what the fall semester is going to look like, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
And Khaleel, we've talked off camera, about res life and just the importance from an individual responsibility standpoint, especially for an incoming student, of that roommate, and being responsible, and that there is going to be a different experience. Can you elaborate on that and the importance of that?
Yeah, I think this year for sure your roommate is most likely going to be your best friend. But I think it's amazing too, right? Especially for the incoming freshmen and those that live on campus, right? You get to really build a bond that's going to be very unique, right? You're going to have to learn to adjust to someone, and it's out of a place of just friendship, but also just overall concern about their well-being too. And so the relationship is going to be interesting to see. I think is going to be useful for those that are navigating, because we're all navigating at first, right? And so what you learn is what your roommate's going to learn, and that's okay. I think hopefully, fingers crossed, as things do get better, and then you'll start exploring what more you can do on campus, and campus will shift. But for right now, right, like building that rapport, like for example, one might need to make a phone call, right? I want to call my family. I don't want to be bothered right now. And you're in the room, you might have to be like, all right, I'll step out for a little bit, give them the space, right? Because you're sharing it. You're going to be there for a while. Not saying that you can't go outside. There are spaces that you can go outside, but you're not always going to want to do so. And working with your roommate, that's just going to be something you have to figure out. And I think being students is definitely capable of doing so, for sure.
About respecting boundaries. And Maggie, we have a lot of parents that watch these episodes as well. Every parent is wondering and just wants their student or their son or daughter to be happy and to be able to get involved. You look at a list of, you said 250 clubs, that can be overwhelming. What's your advice that parents can relay to their freshmen about how to get involved and how to make it manageable?
Definitely. Well, in terms of our essay groups and our essay clubs, we are going to be hosting the first full week of classes, a virtual involvement fair, and more details and links as to what that will look like will be coming out and advertised a little bit later in the summer. But the platform is a really, really cool platform where all of our clubs are categorized and tagged in different ways. The freshmen can build their profile by listing their interests and get matched with groups of similar interests to them, so that they don't just have to search through this list. They can say, you know, like, I'm a singer, and they will get matched to every group that is like a musical performance group. And so they'll get to kind of scroll through those lists of groups, click on their little virtual booths, maybe watch like a little video that that club has uploaded, read a little bit about the club, and then there's going to be certain time slots where the executive boards of those clubs are present in that virtual booth on both a Zoom link and on a live chat, or either a private chat with one e-board member or a public chat with everyone, all the students kind of visiting that booth at that time. So the software we have for this is really, really cool. And I'm really excited to kind of delve into it more, because it's going to give students such an amazing opportunity to be able to virtually learn about pretty much every club that we have. And just by the click of a button, hit I'm interested in this club, and they will be added to the listserv of that club, and they will hear all about the events that that club is having for the rest of the semester, and basically be able to join it that way. So that's a really, really cool program that we're working with the Be Engaged office on. And it's definitely going to be a great way for freshmen to kind of, you know, figure out where their place is.
Wow, so they can talk directly with an executive board member of a club they're interested in?
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be really cool. Basically, it'll be over about 5 days. So the booths of all the clubs will be set up the whole time over the 5 days, but there will be like a schedule listed of kind of when club e-boards are present. So each club will maybe have like an hour, 2 hour time slot where the executive board is kind of just sitting in a public Zoom meeting that a freshman can kind of pop onto, ask a couple questions and leave. There'll be a live chat room. There'll also be a live chat room with myself and people from my office as like fair administrators. If anyone has any questions about how the technology is working or they're confused about anything, there'll be like a little help desk. So it's going to be really, really cool, and it'll give freshmen the ability to face-to-face speak to the leaders of these clubs that they're interested in joining before they attend an event or attend a general interest meeting or something like that.
Well, kudos to both of you for putting it into action. Where can students find out the exact details of, you know, when's my club going to be available, just the whole timeline of how this is going to get rolling?
Yeah, I'm going to be writing the schedule probably in the next couple of weeks, working with the student leaders of the clubs to make sure that, you know, they're available during their time slots. A whole lot of stuff goes into it. In terms of freshmen, though, all of that is going to be marketed to them through all of their Welcome Week programming. So it'll be listed in, you know, all the constant emails they're getting during Welcome Week and their flyers and things like that. So it'll definitely be really accessible, and we'll also be advertising it through our own emails and listservs that go to all the students. So they won't have a problem figuring out, you know, when and where.
As long as they check their emails.
Exactly. Check your Binghamton email.
Check your emails. Yes, yes. Wow, I'm fired up. I want to get things going. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Let's do this. So, well, yeah. Khaleel James, Maggie Koekkoek, pleasure to speak with both of you. And keep up the great work. We'll be talking again soon.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.